da 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 da. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Chris, and this is Star Wars Battlefront 2.
You called for a bounty hunter.
We are Bossk here on Bespin, Cloud City. Here to talk about some fringe factions, some non-main characters, basically. Star Wars is at its core about those black and white two warring factions, the good guys and the bad guys, the Jedi, the Sith, the Empire and the Rebels. But I think these away from those core factions, these side characters can be much more interesting. In Empire Strikes Back, we were introduced to this whole line of bounty hunters, and the expanded universe immediately went and explored every person in that lineup. So we got backstories, we got histories, we got just stories about those characters. Whether it's Zuckuss, the tiny bug-eyed guy clutching onto his rifle, or like this guy, Bossk. His people have a very tense history with Wookiees. So they're very much dark, like a dark version of that race. Despite the fact that they're lizards and Wookiees are, giant furry. But like bounty hunters, Mandalorians, I absolutely love all of that stuff. And I think some of Star Wars' best stuff is tucked away in the corners. In the Star Wars, there's a Star Wars version of D&D that I play, Star Wars Saga Edition, and in there's actually Force traditions that aren't Jedi or Sith. For example, like the Dathomir witches, or the Jiao Shay. There's all of these people who can touch the Force, who were so far removed from the events of the galaxy that they had to kind of figure it out on their own. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of people. Getting out of here. Taking a walk. So there's a ton of things that you never really see in the movies, and I think that's interesting. We see one story, but this is a whole galaxy full of stuff, and that is interesting to me. Bossk is not a good person, but he's got a very interesting story. As a fun fact, his little spacesuit here is actually a costume from Doctor Who. They reused that outfit. It was a spacesuit from Doctor Who, which is a fun little intersection of sci-fi nerddom. But yeah, there's all these little sects of different Force traditions and bounty hunting traditions, and in my opinion, that's where the interesting things are. I've talked before about how I love the Mandalorians, and they're one of my favorite things in Star Wars, which we will talk about in a little bit. But that is kind of where that came from, where you see the world in black and white, and when you learn there's a bunch of other colors, things get more interesting, which is a fun little metaphor for me, a colorblind person. Let me wrap up these last couple guys, and we'll figure out another person to be, another battle to figure out. It's so funny that they're always... Oh, hey, whoa, hey! They're always moving at the end of the... Like, I'm frozen, but they're all moving. Alright, let's find another one. Alright. Welcome, everybody. This is... Just gonna check the skills here. Yeah. This is Boba Fett. We are in Jabba's palace, is what it's called here. They probably did not know at the time that it would eventually become Boba Fett's palace. I absolutely love the Mandalorians. I love the lore set forth by, I talked about this again in the prequel video, but the Karen Travis novels of Republic Commando, she really set forth this Mandalorian culture, and it was very strongly influenced by both her own experience with talking to veterans, military veterans, and also an influence with Maori culture, much like Tamora Morrison is doing in the Book of Boba Fett series, kind of instilling part of his culture into the Mandalorians, which definitely fits. Poor Rancor. I love the fact that their whole culture focuses on the family that you find. It's not necessarily your blood family, it's the family that you choose. And there's a strong emphasis on doing the best you can with what you're given and what you have. It's very interesting about how, and I love that this carried on to Mandalorian too, is that they're more interested in finding a family and carving something out for yourself rather than doing something great and being handed things. So, because they're warriors at heart, they're very frequently in war. They very frequently find orphans. So, in The Mandalorian, when he finds Grogu and he feels this, when Din finds Grogu and he feels this very paternal, bond, it definitely tracks with that culture, which is just fantastic. Both Boba and Din kind of feel that bond to protect people, and it's cool. It's very interesting that they definitely carried that on from Karen Travis. And I know there's something in Clone Wars and Rebels where they basically turned the Mandalorians into this very royalty-based hierarchy, which is most of the reason why I have strayed away from it. Sad to say, I wish I could just enjoy all of Star Wars. Sadly, it's not going to be that way. Someday I'll probably give it a shot, and hopefully, I hope I like it, if I'm entirely honest. I don't want to dislike things. I want to like things, so I hope it's great. But I've just been reluctant since it kind of goes against the Karen Travis school of thought. Those books basically follow this very tight-knit squad and their kind of adventures as they embrace their Mandalorian culture, and they become more Mandalorian than clone, I guess. They learn the Mandawa language, they learn the cultures, the dances, the beliefs, and that's really cool, in my opinion. Alright, we'll do one more, and then that will be it. Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Lando Calrissian. We are wearing his younger yellow outfit from Solo, and we are on the spiced mines of Kessel. Man, Lando is just so cool. He's one of the best characters in Star Wars, in my opinion. I mean, you have Luke, you have Han, who are kind of opposite ends of this spectrum of belief. And then you get introduced to Lando, who is sort of in between. I mean, he kind of talks a big talk about how he's, gone respectable and how he's reluctantly an honest man, but the fact that he's so eager to join the rebellion and throw off the Empire is just hilarious and fantastic. Billy D is so cool. He's just the coolest cat around. I love him so much, and to see him come back in Rise of Skywalker was so much fun, especially when he was wearing a very similar outfit to this one. I thought that Donald Glover in Solo did a fantastic job of capturing that character too. I think he brought even more to the Lando character than I thought he would. He really fleshed him out even more. The way he kind of played him as this kind of lovable scoundrel, but he didn't really know what he was doing, is not exactly how Billy D played it, but it's such a great way to go back in time with that character and see how he evolved into what we see in Empire Strikes Back. I think that Billy D and I can't remember his name, Alden Ehrenreich, can't remember, the guy who plays Han. I thought they both did phenomenal jobs being characters that were already established. They were totally believable, especially during the Sabacc game. I closed my eyes and it felt like those two characters. It didn't feel like this is someone trying to be Harrison Ford. This is someone trying to be Billy D. Williams. It felt like, oh yeah, that's Han and Lando. That makes sense. And I think his style, his charisma, there's not really any other character in Star Wars like him, which I love. That's the point. It's a big galaxy, and there's got to be a Lando in it somewhere, right? So that is why I love Lando, and I love the fact that he's not really bound to the Empire. He's not really bound to the rebellion. He loves doing good, and I have a tendency. I think that he enjoys saving the world, and he enjoys how that makes him feel and how people treat him after that. But at his core, he just wants to do his own thing. So everybody, be like Lando. Do your own thing. Thank you for joining me, everyone, on this adventure. Have a great Star Wars month, and I will see you next time. Bye!